I wasn't allowed to be a human. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how Megan Fox described being one of the most famous women on the planet. She was a headline, a joke, a product to be sold. But a person? Apparently not. Remember the late 2000s? Megan Fox was absolutely everywhere. It felt like she was on this rocket ship to becoming the biggest movie star in the world. And then, poof, she was gone. So what on earth happened? How does Hollywood build someone up that high just to watch them fall so fast? All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at how she became this total phenomenon. Then, that lightning-fast rise and the stereotype that came with it. Next, the big one, her clash with Hollywood. We'll also get into the curse of Jennifer's body. And finally, what her legacy looks like today. Let's get into it. To really get what went down with Megan Fox in Hollywood, we have to rewind way back because her story doesn't start on a red carpet. It starts with her feeling like she just didn't belong. So get this, she started modeling when she was only 13. And in school, she says she was pretty unpopular, that other girls just didn't get her because she was so outspoken. She called it her long tongue personality. It got so bad, she'd eat lunch in a bathroom stall just to avoid the bullies. Now, this is super important because these two things, feeling like an outsider and refusing to be quiet, are going to be the defining themes of her entire career. So after a few small acting gigs, her entire life changed. Just bam! One single movie took her from being a working actress to a name everyone on the planet knew. This was the Transformers effect. And that movie was, of course, 2007's Transformers. This thing was an absolute monster at the box office, a way bigger hit than anyone saw coming. And yeah, the giant robots were cool, but the one star who really exploded out of that movie, it was Megan Fox. And it happened literally overnight. She didn't even have a huge role, but it didn't matter. The media instantly decided she was the next Angelina Jolie. But that fame came with a catch. The industry didn't see an actress. They saw an image. They put her in this tiny little box labeled sex symbol, and her entire public identity was built around her looks. It was a box she was about to get really tired of really fast. And this is where the story takes a hard left turn. Remember that long tongue personality that made her an outcast in school? Well, it was about to go head to head with the biggest, most powerful system you can imagine, Hollywood itself. After the second Transformers movie, she started giving these unbelievably honest interviews, and she took direct aim at the director, Michael Bay. I mean, she held nothing back. She called working with him a nightmare and said he acted like a tyrant on set. You have to understand, in an industry where everyone just smiles and plays nice, this was insane. A young star at the peak of her power just does not do that. And you could just feel the power imbalance. On one side, you have Fox talking about really troubling stuff, like an audition where, as a teenager, she had to wash Michael Bay's car while he filmed her. On the other side, the machine fired back, and it fired back hard. An open letter, supposedly from the film's crew, went up on Bay's website, calling her dumb, ungrateful, and a bunch of other names we can't even say. The consequences came down like a hammer. Fox was out, fired from Transformers 3, just like that. And the long-standing rumor was that the final decision came from the top, from the producer, Steven Spielberg. A rumor, by the way, that Michael Bay himself later confirmed was true. Instantly, the official story was set. Megan Fox was branded with the kiss of death in Hollywood. Difficult to work with. Look, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong in that town. Once you get that label, you are a risk. You're poison. And overnight, one of the biggest female stars in the world found herself pretty much blacklisted. Now, at the exact same time all this public drama is exploding, she releases her first big solo movie. You might think this could be her comeback, her saving grace, right? Wrong. It just became a whole new front in the war over her image, and in a weird way, it kind of predicted her own fate. The film was called Jennifer's Body, and the way they marketed it, man, they basically took that sex symbol box she was trapped in and went all in. Every poster, every trailer was designed to scream one thing to teenage boys: come see this sexy, scary Megan Fox movie. But here is the massive twist. The movie itself was the complete opposite. It was this incredibly sharp, dark comedy written by an Oscar winner. It was a satire about female anger, toxic friendships, and, get this, a beautiful young woman who was literally sacrificed by a group of guys for their own fame. I mean, the irony is just breathtaking. The movie was about what was happening to her in real life. So, you see the problem, right? The audience they marketed to felt tricked when they got a feminist satire. And the audience that would have loved a feminist satire never bothered to show up because of the marketing. With the media already sharpening its knives, the movie was a certified box office bomb. And it wasn't just seen as a failure, it was seen as her failure. So just imagine this perfect storm. You get fired from the biggest movie franchise, you're publicly shamed by the industry, and then your passion project completely crashes and burns. It was all too much. She later said she had a genuine psychological breakdown and was terrified of even being seen in public. The pressure had literally broken her. And for years, that felt like the end of the story. She kind of vanished, taking smaller roles, staying out with the spotlight. Her career as a major movie star seemed over. But time has a funny way of changing the narrative. So let's fast forward to today and see how this whole story has been rewritten. Her return wasn't a big explosion. It was slow and steady. In 2014, she actually reconciled with Michael Bay for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which shocked a lot of people. In 2016, she showed everyone she could be really funny on the TV show New Girl. But the real shift, the big one, happened in the 2020s as the whole culture started having different conversations, thanks to movements like #MeToo. And this is what's absolutely wild. Jennifer's Body, the movie that helped torpedo her career, is now considered a feminist cult classic. It's celebrated for the exact same things it was attacked for back in 2009. And all those quotes that got her labeled difficult, people now look back on them and see them as brave, insightful, and just way ahead of their time. She was saying things a decade before everyone else caught up. And that brings us right here to the final question. The Megan Fox story isn't just about one actress. It's a case study in power, in timing, and in the cost of speaking up. So what do we take away from all this? Was she a difficult actress who sabotaged her own career? Or was she a young woman who told an uncomfortable truth to a powerful system that simply wasn't ready and wasn't willing to listen?